At midday, Andrew was a 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm, still over 950 miles east of Miami. It seemed a world away. But later that Friday, we were starting to be a little concerned.
We are expecting the storm to start turning on a more westward track similar to this.
Then on Saturday, August the 22nd, hurricane hunters flying out of Miami find a strengthening storm, a hurricane. The spiral cloud band's an indication of a growing threat, a threat that's now heading toward us. If the storm continues on this path, and it is heading right down the pike of due west at this point, we expect that the storm is going to be in our neighborhood here by early in the day Monday. At 5 p.m., with Andrew's winds now up to 100 miles an hour, the hurricane watch goes up for South Florida. As some people begin to hit the stores for their hurricane supplies, and others run for plywood at Home Depot, indications are growing that this hurricane is not going to turn away.
All of our guidance is indicating it's going to march right on through sometime Monday, right across the peninsula, and most likely go out into the Gulf of Mexico.
At about 1 o'clock in the morning that Saturday night, when we ended our extended late newscast, I said, as best I can remember it, I'm going to go home now and go to bed, and I suggest you do too, because tomorrow is going to be a big day, and once we get up, we may not go to bed for some time. So let's pick it up in the morning and see where we stand, and then we'll deal with it, whatever it is. And so we did. We went to bed, briefly. Sunday morning, and Andrew is stronger yet, nearly a Category 5. South Florida is in full preparation mode. Boats that have a place to go are on the move, and people are moving too. At first it goes well, but as the day goes on, nerves begin to fray. You're really worried?
Yeah, I'm worried. I've never been here. I'm from Iowa. I've never been through nothing like this.
Too many people waited too long to get to the Publix. It got ugly for a moment, but soon calm prevailed. And the Home Depot was another rallying point for the unprepared.
They destroyed every single thing that was on the shelf. They destroyed it. They went mad. They're crazy.
Everybody here waiting for plywood?
Yeah. The plywood ran out, with some people settling for flimsy lattice work under the theory that anything was better than nothing. On Southwest 293rd Street in Homestead, the Zinn family isn't taking any chances.
We boarded up the house. We left the windows in the one room open so we could still see out. The living room and the bedrooms have been boarded up, just in case.
The boat is tied down, just like the instructions say. The yard is picked up, and they're ready.
An evacuation order in effect.
Some of Bill Zinn's neighbors have boarded up as well. Others are taking their chances. Apparently these folks didn't believe what they were hearing on television, or maybe they just didn't want to believe it.
We can, I think, certainly say without question, this is going to be the most expensive natural disaster ever to hit the United States.
With every sweep of the radar, the thing that seemed so unlikely just 2 days before was now becoming inevitable.
Bob, did you ever think this was going to happen?
No, and I always hoped it would not happen, but knew the day was going to come when it would.
Right, we've talked about it many times. All right. Thank you, Bob. We'll keep coming back to you as often as we can here, as long as we can.
And as the day of preparation turned into a night of waiting, at the Zinn home, Bill's son Ian has a secret audio recorder in his pocket.
It's 9:40, and all is quiet. Stars are out. Not a whole lot's going on, really.
As it is on Miami Beach and throughout South Florida, as we wait and wonder, is this really happening? Of course, the answer is yes.
It's absolutely for sure, no question about it. It is going to happen tonight.
And it did. When midnight came that Sunday night, the wind was picking up in some areas. A squall had come through Fort Lauderdale, but most of South Florida was quiet. Over at the Zinn home, son Ian marked the moment on his audio tape.
It's 12 o'clock now, 110 miles east of Miami, Florida. Winds 140, moving west at 16 miles per hour. And sounds like all is calm.
But the reality was on the radar. Andrew's full fury in full view. It was surreal. It was there, and we were here. And sweep by agonizing sweep, it was coming this way.
We would like to think that we could solve this problem, you know? I mean, we really would. And some problems, hopefully, for people out there, we have solved through this whole process, but we can't solve the big one, as we can't keep this thing from happening.
For the next 3 hours, our goal on television was to try and find the words to motivate people to do that last little thing that might get them through it. And we were concerned about the roof of the old Channel 4 building in downtown Miami. And so we asked the studio crew to prepare a place where we could go, where we would be safer. And we hoped that our move would motivate other people as well.
When you see us move and you're watching us, we want you to move to your safe spot and stay with us on Y100, and we're going to stay with you as long as we can.
Then suddenly it was knocking at the door. It was here. The wind was picking up, some power was going out. This was it.
But if you have someplace to go, you need to go this absolute second.
And again, Brian, it's important to say that if the police officers are being told to not hit the streets, this is virtually almost too late, really.
It really is, and I want to phrase that carefully to say that if it were me and I had been careless enough to not heed the warnings earlier, thinking it wasn't going to happen, friends, it is going to happen now for Dade County.
And at 3:30 a.m., we made our move to the place that became known as the bunker. In actual fact, it was a storage area right off the studio. Yes, the ceiling was concrete, but the wall between us and the studio was actually flimsy, which we never mentioned. Many people told me later that it was this moment that finally convinced them to make their move to their closet or their bathroom. From here, we watched it happen.
It's right on the bay front at this point.
And so it began. At first, things seemed to hold together at the Zinn house.
It's just really loud outside. Unbelievable. Just saw a little bit of lightning. The eye is closed.
But things from Coral Gables south quickly started to go wrong. As we were watching, the Miami radar died, blowing off the roof of the Hurricane Center.
There was a tremendous, I don't know how to describe it. It almost sounded like a brick wall hit this building. And Dr. Sheets said at the time, something big has gone off the roof.
At Tamiami Airport in West Kendall, workers huddle inside as the roof is ripped off, panel by panel. In the high-rises on Brickell Avenue in Miami, first the lights started flickering, then windows broke out. With the wind whistling through the building, people and pets that had ignored the evacuation order hunkered down in the concrete stairwells for safety. Bill Zinn remembers how it all started at their house.
When one of the covers blew off of one of our windows, or got knocked off of one of the windows, and the window blew in, my wife Sandy went and got a mattress out of the bedroom, and we put that in the hallway, and we were trying to block the door to the bedroom where the window had blown in.
Where's those? See if you can find those 2x4s we had before. Maybe we can brace this with the 2x4.
They're in the kitchen by the stove.
And the wind was blowing so hard that it actually blew that door out of the wall. And at that time, we decided we better get under the mattress.
And just as they got under the mattress, Ian's tape recorder caught the moment that everything came apart.
Holy shit! The roof just came off.
All right.
Okay.
It's all right. We're underneath the mattress. We're fine.
Kara, it's okay.
No, it's not. Yes, it is, honey. We're
It's gonna be fine.
Be over here.
But it was not going to be over soon. The second half was yet to come, and it was going to be worse.
Do not think that you are in any way safe if you have not hunkered down and got that mattress over you, friends. This is the time to do it. Get to that interior closet, get a mattress over your head, get your family in there, and just wait this thing out.
In Cutler Ridge, the Troop family was trying to find a safe spot while the storm roared through their house.
We moved around the house trying to seek shelter. Part of the bedrooms got torn apart, and we ended up in the hallway. We propped up some chairs, we threw a mattress in the hallway over our head, and we crawled in there. And I thought that that could be like the last time that I would be on Earth. I crawled out and I took some video of the house because I thought that somebody would want to remember. But kept thinking that's the last gust of wind, that's the last gust of wind, but it never quit.
Where to go, what to do. There was no way to know for sure.
Before we do that, Brian, I understand we have another woman on the phone.
Stand by in South Miami here. We have someone else on the phone who's in dire straits.
Whose roof just caved in. Hello?
Yes.
Where are you?
At 137 and 111th Street,
And what happened?
and half the roof went in.
So,
I want to know if we should open a window and let the...
No, don't worry about opening windows here. Where are you in the house compared to the part where the roof caved in?
In the middle. So
All right.
we're okay.
Here's what I want
On
you to
this
do.
side.
I want you to stay exactly where you are.
Okay, and they shouldn't try to do anything else,
No,
right?
nobody should go out. You are not out of the storm yet. That the storm is going to be with you for some time yet.
From Kendall to Florida City, everyone was just trying to hang on. The winds died down as fast as they'd come, and by 7:30 a.m., it was time to see what life was like out from under the mattress.
Oh, my God.
The Troop kids were the first ones out with a video camera to see what had happened in their neighborhood.
Leave the little tree stay. Look at the roots of that sucker. God, look at George's house. God. This is Hurricane Andrew. Look what he can do at 150 miles an hour wind.
And in Homestead, remember the Zinn house and Bill's boat?
We put tie downs on the boat to hopefully keep it from moving around too much.
Well, that was life on Sunday night, and this was life on Monday morning.
This is the morning after. We're trying to recover what we can out of it. Sandy, and there's Ian. We rode out the storm under the mattress. We spent about 4 hours underneath the rubble. And we finally got out. We haven't been anywhere yet. What used to be the boat. Parts of the concrete house structure of the house are clean on the other side of the boat. The road has been blocked with trees. All the houses suffered heavy damage. However, only ours and our neighbors are totally gone.
Luckily, the neighbor's house on the left side survived, enough that they could all cook and eat in the garage and sleep on the back porch. And of course, across South Dade, the story was the same. Every house, a home. Hundreds of thousands of people lived here, and they all now needed food and water and a place to stay. Stunned disbelief, but grateful to be alive. That was the collective sentiment in South Dade that Monday morning. Almost immediately, good folks from Broward headed south to help, and with supplies, knowing that it just as easily could have been them.
We brought some canned goods, some bleach, a lot of stuff that hopefully they can use.
We brought some food, we brought some Tylenol, anything we had that wasn't open.
And that afternoon, the president arrived for what turned out not to be much more than a social call. He promised that the National Guard would stop the looters and that the federal government would help.
Do you know that's against the law and you can go to jail?
But quickly, things in South Dade were spiraling out of control. People looting in broad daylight, others buying what other people had stolen.
You bought stolen stuff for your kids?
It's cheap.
It's cheap, but it's against the law. Did that ever cross your mind? You bought stolen goods. If you didn't steal it, you bought stolen goods and you've got your kids in the car? What kind of example is that for your little kids?
But the worst of it was the people weren't eating. There wasn't enough food, or water or help. And then the director of Dade County Emergency Management, Kate Hale, held a news conference.
And I really don't like to be in a position to have to criticize agencies that we are dependent upon in this community to come in and help us out of this situation. But enough is enough. Somebody's got to come out and ask a lot of people who are very responsive, who have been elected, who have high positions in this community, in this country, to quit playing like a bunch of kids and victimizing us in the process. If we do not get more food and water into the South End in a very short period of time, we are going to have more casualties because we're going to have people who are dehydrated, who are without food, babies that need formula.
And the logjam was broken. With that first C5A came hope. More than 4 long days after the storm had ended, finally men and machinery were heading to South Dade. But it took 2 more days before military Humvees were patrolling. In many neighborhoods, people got their first secure night's sleep 6 days after the storm. But more importantly, finally, somebody was in charge.
So I think the first thing that you're going to see are more of those Red Berets out into the local communities, up the streets, and into these trailer parks that I've seen around. Soldiers in those areas putting up tents so that people can live in their own local communities, and we'll try and get food, water, porta potties, and so forth, the basic services, into those communities.
By Sunday, 1 week after the countdown to Andrew began, we could begin to feel a change in the air. Not that there weren't setbacks. Heavy summer rains hit again, soaking homes that people had spent days trying to clean. And there were challenges. In spite of convoys of power trucks stretching as far as the eye could see, power was out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and here in deep South Dade, 3 months. Many of these amazing and courageous South Dade folks stayed and rebuilt on exactly the same spot that Hurricane Andrew ripped apart, almost defying Mother Nature to dare to try and do it again. But I know, and you know if you were here, that Hurricane Andrew still lives with these folks deep inside, even after 10 years. And it always will.
Andrew has kind of become the defining point, I think, in everyone's life who went through Andrew. It's our time reference. When we talk about things, it's before Andrew and after Andrew is the way we describe things down here. And I think a lot of people who went through Andrew are the same way.